Hey everybody, it's Boardman21, and today's build is going to be the return of the Shocker, a completely lightning-based mage, which will be running Elemental Nova as only lightning damage, and will be using the new updated skill tree to Lightning Blast. We'll also have static, so while we run around, we'll automatically be casting Lightning Blast. We will also use Lightning Blast on our single targets, while Elemental Nova cleans up all the trash mobs rather quickly. We have Focus for regen, and we'll have Flame Ward for our ward. We are running Zinglius. Now, one quick thing about the items and the equipment. We are running or pushing for a ward build, but it's not super effective. There's not a whole lot of ways to generate ward on this other than just the chest piece and Zinglius. So running armor protections with glancing blow and just leeching your damage as health, it could be and probably is a more viable way to do it. So keep that in mind. If you already have a set of armor that's good for leeching, especially leeching lightning damage, which you can get on a weapon, I would go with that. Anyways, let's get into it. Alright, for skills we are running Lightning Blast, Focus, Flame Ward, Elemental Nova, and Static. For Lightning Blast, we are using this to do really good single target damage, so we're doing the inline mode and as many chains as possible to multiply that damage out. And since we're a complete lightning build, obviously Lightning Blast being a lightning skill made sense to use. So we have 3 points in Storm Razor, 2 points in Lightning Attunement, 4 points in Overcharge, 1 point in Hypercharge, 4 points in Arcane Power, 4 points in Chain Lightning, 1 point in Focal Blast, with 1 point in Volatile Lightning. For Focus, we have 4 points in Desperate Meditation, 4 points in Mana Flooded, 1 point in Energy Battery, 5 points in Everward, and 5 points in Mind's Shield. Flame Ward, we have 4 points in Stalwart Defense, 3 points in Desperate Defense, 3 points in Fuel the Flames, 1 point in Invigorate, 1 point in Concentrated Shielding, 5 points in Dilation, 2 points in Energize, 1 point in Recollection. For Elemental Nova, we are only taking the lightning side. We are giving it spark charges, so for every lightning hit you do with it, you also get a spark charge at a 100% chance. So you're basically getting 2 hits for 1, and since we're channeling it, we're getting 5 hits a second, so you're actually getting 10 hits a second. And then there's also a 40% chance with every single one of them to do an overcharge, which increases the area and has 2 stacks of shock chance on it. So we have 1 point in Lightning Nova, 5 points in Elemental Expanse, 1 point in Luminaire, 5 points in Spark Charges, 5 points in Overcharge, and 3 points in Survival of the Victor for that ward on kill, which has a very small chance at only 14%. I feel like that percentage should be boosted. And then for Static, we have 5 points in Reverberation, 1 point in Overload, 4 points in Unstable, 5 points in Diode, 1 point in Unlimited Power, and 4 points in Overcharge. And what this does is as you run around and collect charges, get hit, and gain charges, whenever you're over 80, it will expend some of your charges to automatically cast Lightning Blast for you using your Lightning Blast skill tree. So as you run around Elemental Novaing all the trash mobs, Lightning Blast will shoot out occasionally. With that, we'll get into the passives and go over a little bit of how those synergize with those skills. So we have 20 points in the Mage base class. We got 8 points in Elementalist, 8 points in Scholar, 5 points in Ice and Fire, and 5 points in Arcane Current. Now this Arcane Current, so what Arcane Current does is when you use a lightning ability, this will do a lightning, Arcane Lightning at 5 additional enemies around that area. Then we have 20 points in SpellBlade so that we could unlock Static. We have 8 points in Elemental Affinity, 2 points in Latent Infusion, and 10 points in Glacier Might. For the Sorcerer, our final 63 points, we have 8 points in Brainstorm, 8 points in Mana Shell, 10 points in Wisdom, 8 points in Cyromancer, probably pronounced that wrong, 1 point in Rolling Snow, 5 points in Rift Bolt, 8 points in Arcane Current for that super massive increased shock effect percentage, 10 points in Dragon Breath, because this will give you a 100% increased shock chance whenever you have used a fire skill for 4 seconds, which Flame Ward counts as a fire skill, and this also gives you a 100% chill chance whenever you use a lightning skill, which we use a lot of lightning skills. So this way you can chill and shock 100% chance all your enemies all the time. And then 5 points in Archmage for that adaptive spell damage increase, which is tripled due to the fact that we have over 200 mana. For items, we are running a lot of uniques. We have Wing Guards for more dodge. We are running the 4-piece jewelry set with set health and set dodge. Again, we have Stormtide for the shock chance and shock effect on the boots, and the massive increased movement speed. One of our main dodge generators, or ward generators, is the dodge ward generator, or the ward granted on dodge. From Ward Trail, we have Enzanguius, obviously, and Boneclimber Barbette. For our weapon, we are using a two-handed Oracle Staff with increased lightning damage. This one has increased cast speed. It has chance to shock on hit, so between our boots shock chance, our weapon shock chance, and our passive shock chance, sometimes you can get between 300 and 400% shock chance, which is 3 to 4 stacks, and we are currently running 629% increased shock effect. So if you get 3 stacks on there, that's 1800 elemental resist removed from your enemies for every hit, and we're doing 5 hits a second with our Elemental Nova. So you can see how you can reduce their armor and protections massively quickly, but it doesn't actually seem to make you do a whole lot of extra damage, which is weird. We're sitting at 68% dodge, and so you can imagine this is kind of a kite build. You don't want to face tank for too long. A couple of good hits and you will be dead. For idols, basically anything that increases your lightning damage. We have 2 here that increase our lightning damage by a huge percentage. Even more than that, it will be doubled if we had over 300 mana, which we're actually aiming for. We're only 23 mana short right now. And then our bottom 2 is percentage increase of mana and more lightning damage over 300 mana. There's a lot of idols that you can play around with. There's no specific ones you have to do, but if it increases lightning damage, it's probably good. You can also go with ward retention if you really want to turn it into a higher ward retention. Currently, we only have 104% ward retention. If you throw on all the 1x1 idols, you can get up to like 300% and be a little bit more survivable. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and leave you with some gameplay.